Today's a good day, my boys, because today we're gonna talk about my man Stanley.
My man Stanley.
Oh yeah, it's my man Stanley.
Welcome to Stanley's world.
This is my man's right here. This is my boy.
This is my boy. This is my boy. This is my boy.
For those of you who don't know, Stanley was a kids show that aired on Playhouse Disney from 2001 to 2004, created by Jim Jenkins and David Campbell. Stanley was one of my favorite shows growing up, second to probably Out of the Box. One thing that always stood out to me was how simple it was. Stanley was such a vibe, especially his theme song. My Man Stanley is one of the greatest theme songs of all time. Don't at me. BoJack Horseman could never. Magic School Bus, get that shit out of here. Phineas and Ferb, I've literally only ever heard of Dyson and Marvin of the Baja Men. One of my favorite aspects of the show was that they didn't rely on silly noises, wacky characters, or flashing colors. It would be just Stanley and his pets. Each episode, Stanley would be in a different situation he doesn't fully understand. After talking to his pet fish, we'll get to that, he consoles the great big book of everything.
It's the great big book of everything with everything inside. See the world around us. This book's the perfect guide.
Now that's not funny.
Shut your bitch ass up, nigga. Nobody asked you that a bitch ass thing.
The Great Big Book of Everything is a magical zoology book that Stanley is able to travel in and out of, kind of like what Steve did on Blue's Clues. Remember when Steve came back? Man, I did not know I needed that.
That after all these years, I never forgot you. Ever. And I'm super glad we're still friends.
Why is it so hard? I didn't know it was gonna be so hard.
But unlike Steve, he can also bring animals out. Legit, he had a whole ass kangaroo in his room, and everyone in the house dismisses it. Once in the book, Stanley interacts and talks to the other animals, allowing him to see how they handle a similar situation he faces, or how he can overcome the same difficulties, learning to deal with the situation himself. Which is kinda dope. You don't see Caillou's bitch ass doing that.
Stop it!
I don't wanna.
You have to get one.
Stanley has a very unique look, being both blocky yet smooth. Each character has a distinct style, while also sharing some similarities. It kinda reminds me of Total Drama Island a little bit. It has a geometric style, if that makes sense. Especially the background. It's like everything has a lean to it. I don't know, I like it. Let me go back to the music real quick. The music reminds me of the Rugrats. Not like a one-to-one comparison, but just how unique the sound is to each show. Like, nothing sounds like the Rugrats. But nothing sounds like Stanley either. Does that make sense?
This is Stanley's Great Big Book of Everything. When Stanley jumps into the Great Big Book of Everything, he can slide with penguins, fly with fireflies, hop with kangaroos, hi there, dive with dolphins, swim with seahorses, and still make it back in time for dinner.
You look like you went for a swim in the ocean.
Anything is possible when you use your imagination. Imagine and learn with Stanley today at 10/9 Central inside Playhouse Disney.
Another aspect I like about the show was the wide range of characters. Stanley has 3 pets, a dog named Harry, a cat named Elsa, and a fish named Dennis. Harry, voiced by Renee Mujica, I think I said that right. Harry's dope. He's always down for an adventure. And I know it's been a few years, but I don't remember him sounding like this.
Stanley, you can get in real big trouble with your mom and dad.
He's not the smartest dog in the world. I mean, the only reason he gets along with Elsie is because he thought she was a chihuahua. Elsie, voiced by one of the ghosts, Hayden Walsh, Elsie was a chill cat, always encouraging Stanley when he needs it. She can also be a little snarky. It might just be her delivery, but everything she says sounds like a sarcastic taunt.
Perhaps we can find someone in the animal world a little more tuneful to give you some guidance.
Here's a fun fact for you. Dennis the fish is voiced by Charles Shaughnessy, the same guy that played Maxwell on The Nanny. Though Stanley has 2 other pets, Dennis is definitely his favorite. That's the homie. He's basically like the Woody of the show. They do everything together. This is fine in context of the show, but could you imagine a real child bringing a goldfish around, like to a playground or a McDonald's? I don't know, it's just weird to think about. I've never been that interested in a fish, unless we talk about a fish fry or something. I'm just playing. I hate fish, but back to Dennis. He's a good friend. He could just be a little hater sometimes.
How about finding a guide to voice lessons?
Shut up, bro. Shut up, my nigga, shut up.
Also, if I didn't know better, I say that Dennis wrote the Big Book of Everything because homie knows damn near everything in it. He tells Stanley all about the animals discussed in the episode, and I think he's the only character that breaks the fourth wall in the show. Almost every episode, he talks to the audience, encouraging them to do something fun or by asking them questions corresponding to the given topic. Besides the pets, there are other recurring characters in the show, like his parents. His mom is a dentist and his dad is a cartoonist. I don't remember them doing much other than just being there. They may add an additional lesson related to the theme, but that's about it. Then there's his brother, Lionel, who has the biggest forehead in the game, goddamn.
Look at the top of his head.
But yeah, there's nothing particularly special about them, but they all play their parts pretty well. And then there's my man Stanley. Welcome to Stanley's World. Voiced by Jessica D. Stone. Stanley is dope. He's just a kid learning as he goes through life and making friends along the way. Now, he isn't perfect. Like most kids, he could be impatient, dishonest, and just an overall pain in the ass. But he's also really loyal, kind, and very smart. Y'all wish y'all had a friend like Stanley. I want that Stanley and Dennis kind of love.
Nigga, what?
I did not mean it like that.
No, nah,
I did
that's
not
what you
mean
said.
it like
I heard
that.
you. I just heard you.
I did not.
No,
I did not
no,
mean it
that's
like
what you
that.
said. I heard
That's not
you.
what I meant.
I heard
didn't
you.
mean it like that. Overall, Stanley was a pretty good show. Now, I'll acknowledge that half of that is nostalgia, but the other half is genuine. I still think it holds up today. I appreciate it for what it is and what it did for those who watched it. If you ask me, Stanley is the most underrated show on Playhouse Disney. But you don't have to take my word for it.